We've gotten to witness some pretty incredible changes here at Lot 32 over the past several months, but one of the most significant, I think, has been this Fraser River ice jam. And I'm often in my own category with the things that fascinate me, but it's been incredible getting to share the happenings of this river and the ice jam with so many people who are equally as interested. The jam is officially gone, but it has left behind some incredible ice banks here. With this warmer weather and a little bit of rain today, these aren't going to last a whole lot longer, so I want to go down and check out just how thick this ice jam actually was. Where I am right now, there's just ground underneath me, so all this ice was pushed up here under force. And since we are closer to the end of where it was jammed up, I can only imagine it just gets thicker and thicker as you go along. Lucky for me, right by the lot, there's a good access point down, though it looks like it might get a little bit radical right here, so I'm gonna go this way, right here. Wow, look at this. So this has been melting for a week and a half at least. Imagine how thick it was out there in the middle. I've not noticed this before. I've walked this beach down here so much. There's old Dodge sitting down here in the water. Here we go. I'm 5'10", 5'11" on a good day. Can't even touch it. That is a lot of ice. The Fraser River is more than 1,300 kilometers long. It took approximately a week for this to all fully jam up, and then it was jammed for almost a month actually before it broke. Imagine all the different places that this ice came from. Here we go. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Crazy. Talk about some friggin' danger. It's not high enough to get hurt falling over there, but gotta be careful of these overhangs, because if it breaks and I end up down there, the only way I'm getting back up is through the water. Would rather not get that wet. Now, how does something like this happen? This ice is all full of bubbles, and this ice is perfectly clear. There's these old car and truck chassis down here, and I've wondered how over the years they've managed to get totally bent and ripped up instead of just deteriorating. Oh, there's an old piece of a Coca-Cola bottle. Anyways, not to get sidetracked, I understand now how they take so much abuse. Look at this one, still underneath the ice there. But you can imagine as that ice is getting pushed up onto the bank, and then right now all that force going down has just torn these things into pieces. You can see the other half of that chassis up there. The force of the ice jam has unearthed some old ghost town relics here. 7-Up. Oh, an entire fork. I can hardly believe it. Look at how long the tines are on this thing. Heavy enough to be silver. dinosaur egg. For context of ice jam thickness, when it was -30 and this thing froze all the way across, I walked out to the rock bluff. I was walking up there. And now that rock bluff is once again inaccessible. Should have put a flag or something out there when I had the chance. That's the bottom of a tricycle. Ooh, I like that pattern. I think I found my first intact treasure. Bottle topper. Look at that baby. Perfect condition still. Oh, pretty remarkable discovery right now. Half rock, half ice. Nature. This reminds me a little bit of some of the remote communities I visited on the BC coastline, where after a storm you can find Russian trading beads on the beach. Here, after an ice jam, you can find all kinds of relics. Look at this. I'm not gonna pull very hard because I don't want to break it. But shoot. Was hoping that was gonna be a whole bottle. Nice color though. You're not gonna freaking believe it. Wow. Perfect condition. Look at that. Oh, it's got a chip in it. That's too bad, because that glass is perfect. Yeah. Don't break on me here. Yep. Piece of cake. Gonna try and avoid falling down a crevasse, but I'm hot on the tail of some treasure here. Can't stop now. Gonna try and get to the other exposed section. Pretty curious. When you see this ice floating down the river, it looks like just a thin little piece. That's what it actually is. The old saying, the tip of the iceberg, same thing goes with a riverberg. By the time this gets down to the ocean, I wonder how big it is. Probably not much of it left. Pretty solid. Do you know what this looks exactly like? A crystallized woolly mammoth tooth. Can you believe it? Risked it all. Life and limb through the berg maze. Veins pumping with treasure fever. Get to this end of town, not a single treasure. Place is a total bust. Ooh. Found a nice bench. Friggin' neighbor's been holding out on me. Want you to close your eyes and imagine this. An apocalyptic world where a virus starts on the plants and covers them like a black exoskeleton. Would look something like this. What's going on with this tree right now? Scaring the crap out of me. Quick pit stop to admire this rock. That's gonna have to be it for exploring today. We've got a big day ahead of us. Taking the Ford into town to pick up some heavy machinery. The Lot 32 Prickle Bush Mitigation Project is brought in partnership with Acre Equipment in Williams Lake. Pretty high-end amputator here for phase 1. Full-on eviscerator for phase 2. To be totally honest, I wasn't really planning on doing all these outdoor projects this early. But winter ended much sooner than we thought, and this area is really bad for ticks. So I want to try and get some of this tall grass and shrubbery dealt with. Something like that, maybe. Oh yeah. Not gonna learn how to run it by just looking at it.
Time. I could swore that I was in it, down every minute. Don't know what I was sipping, but I felt like I was doing fine.
First impressions, this thing is pretty awesome, though it sounds like a race car and operates more like a hit-to-pass car. This is a used blade when I started, and it was doing pretty good, so any improvement is really just a bonus. Got a pretty good start on my prickle and brush situation out here, but can you believe, this early in the year, it's already too dry to be burning my wood piles, which is why we have the chipper. The old man's coming out today, gonna lend a hand with some wood chipping. You look impressed with my wood chipper.
Pretty industrial looking.
It's a biggie. See if it can shoot far enough to get over the bank, but not far enough to get into the river. Dad's just getting rolling on this old apple tree over here. We're gonna try and salvage what we can. It's still a good live apple tree, but there's a lot of dead branches on it. And this thing actually dates back to the old gold rush days. It's a pretty neat tree because it actually grows two different kinds of apples. So at some point in time over history, someone's come with a different species of apple, spliced it in there, and it's worked. Time for this old tree fork to disappear.
You're getting side on.
I know. Can you believe that timing? Finished up our chipping yesterday, woke up this morning to a fresh dusting of snow. Certainly not a bad thing, we need the moisture, but I have to return the chipper today. I think by the time I get this thing to the top of the hill, it's gonna look like I took it through mud bog.
Follow this old river down to where the poppies grow, and drink that cool water till I get my fill. Take me out past the mud and rust and all the broken bones, and watch the sun fall down behind the hill. Work hard all day, stone by stone, for the night to come. There's no sleep like that of tired bones. And rub my hands and whisper to me about tomorrow, about the kids and the house, and how we don't have much, but it's enough.
The mess here is starting to feel like a never-ending project, but don't worry, it's not going to be the Lot 32 cleanup series much longer. But while we have the time, I've got to keep chipping away at it. Can you dig it? The old girl can take a big load better than a young truck. There comes a time when a guy just has to put the camera away and get a whole bunch of work done. And that's what happened this week. Woke up to snow and I knew it was going to be my last chance to do some burning. So I spent 2 days raking and burning and raking and burning, and the property is looking fantastic. So let's just go ahead and get straight into this week's cost breakdown. Big thanks to Acre Equipment for helping out with the equipment on this week's project. But the brush cutter would have a daily rental of $135, only needed it for the 1 day. The chipper is $280 daily, again, only needed it the 1 day. And can you believe that chipper running wide open all day long only consumed $26 in gas? I am not moving here from another place, so all of the equipment that I need on the property I'm having to purchase. Some of it I can grab from the shop, but the bulk of it I'm having to buy. So for wheelbarrow, shovel, rake, etc., I'm chalking up an extra $300 this week. It's up to you if you need to factor that into your build. Giving us a grand total of a very reasonable $741 this week. Big thanks to the old man for coming out and lending a hand, and most of all, thanks for watching, everybody.
She said, Jess, did you hear that? There's a bird outside. I think it's a mourning dove. I said, I think you're right. She said, when I'm here in the glow of your child.